You're all like, ooh, a podcast. Some guy like emailed me asking if I trolled you off the podcast or why you weren't on or something. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I feel like we've had almost too much Tim Herron lately, but like it's not like not enough.
It's like not in a bad way, though.
We've had a lot of Tim Herron.
Well, we had Tim Herron for a while, and then we haven't had Tim Herron in like 2 months.
That's not true. I'm sure you're teed up on some episodes.
It's been a while.
Okay.
Well, it's been a while since we've actually done a podcast.
That is true, yes. Well, I had to tee a bunch up because I've been traveling like a motherfucker lately.
Oh, yeah.
Like I get it. I had one trip, I was home for 12 hours before I went back to the airport and flew someplace else.
Jesus Christ. That was at Atlanta?
Yeah, I was home from Atlanta, then I had to fly someplace else. It fucking sucked. I got 3 days home now to rest.
This last?
Sacramento. Yeah, I shot a match out there, did a class. Big clubs out there, like 100 guys for a club match. It's crazy.
Those dude made you 4 aces until you broke a sub 2?
Well, it didn't take that long.
5, obviously not, but
yeah,
it's pretty baller.
I got to shoot on my lunch break, and I practiced today for the first time this year, live fire.
I saw your
my paster gun.
Your paster gun picture.
Have you seen the saga of the paster gun, Nick?
I've seen some snippets here and there. Yeah,
it's fucking amazing. I'm gonna keep doing it. Yeah.
I missed how it got started, but
it got started with Tim Myers seems strangely attached to his paster gun that he wrote Myers on, like so nobody would steal it. So,
I thought it was Tim Herron's paster gun.
No, it's Tim Myers. So I stole it. Okay. I was like, well, you won't leave Texas to hang out with me, so I'm just gonna take this with me. So I did.
You can't leave Texas to hang out with you.
I'm taking it around the world with me for a year, and then maybe I'll like ship it back to him. Yeah. I even gave it to one guy, and he brought it home and had his kid play with it for a night, got a picture of it, and then gave it back to me the next day.
It was that guy, Dave Savigny?
It was not. No, it did go with me to dinner at Dave Savigny's house. I did
see it in that picture.
Oh, that picture of you at Dave's house was awesome, too. Just chilling on the table back there in the background.
It was a little embarrassing. I get out of my car, haven't seen him in like, I don't know, 6 months. I walk in there, hey, Dave, and I'm just holding this paster gun. He's like, just kind of like, looks at me a little funny, and I walk in, and I'm like, never mind it. And then we're eating dinner, and I was like, oh, forgot something. I go and I grab the paster gun, set it in the table, get the picture, and he's just like, what are you doing? Like nothing. Don't even worry about it. Just need this picture for something. Anyway, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show, people. My name's Ben, here to answer shooting questions. On deck, we have Tim Herron.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Every 2 months, you get your Tim Herron fix.
Every 2 months.
Whether you want him or not, he's here.
Exactly.
And Nick the Dick is here.
Hello, guys.
You know who I couldn't get? The man of the hour, Hansik Kim.
Hwansik.
Yeah.
Hwansik. I think it's Hansik's the Korean pronunciation. I'm not sure on that. Anyway, that dog-eating motherfucker wouldn't come on tonight because he's hanging out with his wife. But he finished second at Karyopix Nationals. And I think that's really cool.
That was very impressive.
What? Just a few tenths of a percent, too, wasn't it?
I think it was by a contair.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I told him he'll be on top one day. I don't know if it'll be this year, next year, 5 years from now. But if he sticks with it, he'll be on top someday, some division. So that's pretty cool. All right. Let's get to it. Simple question. I think this is going to be a Nick question, actually. How would you go about creating a training program whose goal is to develop shooting consistency under pressure once getting focused on getting faster with acceptable accuracy, which is the path most training seems to focus on? All right, that seems a little strange, but he's going to explain it better here. I've been reviewing my current training program against my current goals and realized I'm probably not focused on the appropriate elements. A review of my top level 1 match scores from 2015 and 2016 revealed that those same scores would have put me in the top 10 at the last 3 World Speed Shooting Championships, but I've been unable to reproduce anywhere near those results at any level 2 or 3 match. This leads me to the conclusion that I don't need my current training to focus on getting faster. I think this is like all of us can relate this to USPSA pretty easily, right?
Well, I was just thinking about that. I'm not sure if it really, I haven't shot enough Steel Challenge to really have an opinion on whether it really translates 1-to-1 with Steel Challenge.
Well, how about this, Nick? Well, it doesn't in that we shoot different stages all the time, but it does in
Yeah.
that I'm sure you regularly do things in practice with no pressure that you find hard to reproduce regularly in matches, right?
You know, I don't spend enough time looking shot for shot through the timer in matches to, yeah. So I can have a sense that certain things are going to be sub, max practice speed, but I honestly couldn't tell you exactly by like how much.
You couldn't
that
tell me
is.
by how much, but you have a sense that this is the case for a lot of people. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
in broadly, I
Yeah.
don't shoot as well at big matches as I do at club matches.
Mm,
Like I go shoot against guys at their club, and they shoot better than they do when I see them at nationals.
okay, that's interesting.
For
Yeah.
sure,
Okay.
no doubt.
Yeah.
Everybody shoots better in practice, I think, typically than they
So
do in matches. People
that's
do
one
better in
thing.
club matches than major matches. That's normal. Anyway,
Yeah.
let me finish the question first. This leads me to the conclusion that I don't need my current training to focus on getting any faster, but rather to be able to reproduce my level 1 results consistently on demand at bigger events. Simply training to get faster every day does not appear to be helping. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts for restructuring my training. Okay. Tim, let's start with the premise first. I think the premise is I can do the shit that I'm supposed to be able to do in practice and in level 1 matches. And if I could just do that at bigger matches, I would do a lot better.
Absolutely. That's
What do
everybody's
you
reason.
agree with that?
Yeah. I think the vast majority of people suffer from that. And a lot of it comes from the fact that it's just kind of what you were alluding to, in practice, everybody goes
Well,
fast
practice
because
or
they're
level one, let's
right.
say.
Practice and level ones. He's not inducing the same level of pressure on himself in his practice sessions and in local or level 1 matches that he is when he goes to a level 2 or above match. So it's a lot of it is.
That's interesting. Not inducing the same pressure is what you would suspect.
That's what I would suspect.
Okay.
So
what's the
whether
solution?
that be,
how do you restructure the training? So we need an actionable solution here. And I don't know is an acceptable answer.
yeah, I really don't know. I mean, I've got a couple of ideas. I would say, like being able to somehow he's got to be able to put himself under pressure in practice, whether that be by misses or mistakes of some kind are like punishable by something. He's got there has to be some consequence for him. Unfortunately, I think a lot of times people kind of just dismiss any kind of mistakes they make in practice as like, well, that's just practice. I'm just learning to go faster. And they just allow the mistakes to completely just be dismissed instead of,
they should dwell on that shit and it should eat at them.
I think so, to a point. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
There needs to be some actionable.
There needs to be some consequences, damn it.
Exactly. Well, if you put some consequences onto the mistakes you make in practice, therein lies then, raising that pressure level, and that pressure level then is going to allow you to replicate more of what you probably under when you go to a level 2 or above match. Yes or no?
I'd say yes. What do you think, Nick?
So if we accept his premise at face value,
I think we can.
Yeah.
This guy's pretty data driven. He's a fucking
Okay.
nerd. I know the guy.
all right. So that was my first thought: is you're not inducing the same level of pressure, and somehow you got to work to change that. Now, I can just tell you my own experience with it. I actually do have a hard time inducing pressure on myself in practice. In fact, about the only way that I can, there's basically nothing I can do in practice that's going to piss me off as much as trashing a stage at a match. Okay. So I kind of accept that, but the best way that I induce pressure on myself in practice is when I'm trying to repeat something several times over. Okay. So like if I'm practicing, I'm usually operating in one of two modes. I'm either trying to do something at the absolute peak speed and push the speed and accuracy threshold, in which case I'm, chances are I'm going to have to accept some mistakes. Or I'm trying to run in a match mode where I'm going to set up usually a miniature stage rather than a drill. But I want to run that thing 5 times in a row, 10 times in a row, and I don't want to have any major issues. I want my calculated hit factor to be consistent. And if I've done it 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row, and my goal is to do it the next couple times, okay, at that point I'm a little bit invested in that set of runs, and I'm going to be pissed off, and I'm going to feel a little bit more pressure if I mess it up. Okay, or I'm going to feel a little more pressure to do it right. I'm going to be a little more pissed off if I mess it up. So in practice, that's kind of what I do. If you have somebody that's even that you're trying to compete with, that you can practice with, I think that'd be a good thing to do in that particular case. But the other thing I do though is I do not have problems feeling pressure in club matches. So when I go to club matches, I got guys there that I'm trying to beat, and I want to win, and I'm not, I want to do as well as possible. And I think that's a good environment to actually feel that practice as you can do feel that pressure on a regular basis, outside of a major match. So, maybe you need to find a way to take your club matches a bit more seriously.
So your feeling is, for our guy here, that you do you take club matches seriously, you'd suspect he's not. Or you take it more seriously because you're getting that pressure in club matches.
I think so. Yeah, I don't feel overwhelmed by pressure, but I'm there.
I know, but
if I don't do my best, I'm amped up when I step up to the line of club match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me too. I take it seriously. So I agree with you. Ways to induce more pressure in training. Things that I would throw out there: bringing somebody else with you can help. That's accountability, right? If you're out there by yourself shooting, there's really no checks or balances. I mean, even somebody looking over your shoulder is like, man, that really sucked, or something. When you fuck something up, even that is something. That's better than nothing. You can structure your training like a match, where, like, if this guy's training for Steel Challenge, he sets up the stage, and I know this would kill him, but you set up a stage and you shoot it 5 times and that's it. Like, shoot it cold, or you shoot your 5 runs, you're done. And then maybe you have to shoot a different order the next time, because those guys play around with orders a lot. And then you'd have to, shoot a different order, 5 runs, that's it. Or something like that. Something to add in some pressure at the beginning of his practice, really test himself. I'm like Nick, I shoot every club match like it's nationals. I don't have a problem with that. But this guy might start thinking like, hey, I don't need to be, at this time at my club match, whatever his goal time is, I need to be 5 seconds faster so that I can leave myself some room to fuck up a little bit at bigger matches. You know what I mean? Like, he should be targeting those higher times.
Go to a club match with a goal, even if it's, again, I don't know if this is easy to do. I guess you could do it in Steel Challenge too, but, I have local shooters.
Because it's the
probably
same
easier.
stages.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, but, I have local guys that I shoot against. The style of stages that we shoot locally, I know kind of generally how I perform against them, and I want to do better than that. So that's what I'm there to do. So if I don't do it, I'm not happy.
Yeah. Okay. So actionable stuff. Let's recap it real quick. Bring somebody with them to training. Make the training resemble more a match. Find a way to take the match more seriously. Set goals at the match. What else? Tim wants consequences, so your friend's going to hit you with a hammer when you fuck up. Or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
All good stuff. Cool.
I mean, I don't know if it's good. You could put money on it. I've never done that personally, but that would
I put money on something once at Nationals. It was actually kind of cool. It was like every time you shot a delta or a miss or a no-shoot hit, you had to put $1 into this pool. Yeah. And the person that had the least of that got $1 or got all the money from everybody.
I must have got that idea from you, because I tried to do that. I did that one time at a club match.
I won like $400 or something. It was pretty cool.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Where'd it come from?
From all the other people. They shot a lot of penalties. I think I put in.
So
like
every
$2.
time everybody shoots a D, you put $1 in, and then whoever shoots the least amount.
Whoever puts in the least money gets all the money.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. My model was I'm just going to pay you $1 for every D that I shoot.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, I had to pay out more dollars than I anticipated that day. Unfortunately.
All right, let's go to the next one. Ben, I love the Practical Pistol Show. Well, thank you. The less than politically correct banter makes me smile. Is our banter not politically correct?
I think we're pretty good.
You are such an idiot, Tim. We're a bunch of privileged white men talking about trannies and shit and ladies. It's not cool.
No, we got an Asian now. He's just not here today.
I read both of you, but we have a token Asian. But you know what? Asian people, if there's one group of people that does even better than white people, it's Asian people.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. They statistically like make more money and stuff, right?
If there's more privilege than white privilege, it's Asian privilege.
There is, right. I did call him a dog eater earlier.
I know you did.
That's not cool. His wife
that
says
sounds not politically correct.
he's not allowed to do that anymore. Per his wife. Anyway, I've read both of your books. Well, thank you, sir. I have a grip question. I know that you advocate gripping the gun very hard. Generally speaking, yes, I do. But I've never heard you talk about grip strengthening. Maybe you haven't. Okay. Do you work on hand strength? I've been using Captains of Crush for a few months and have seen a big improvement in how much gooder I can manage to recoil and thus shoot faster. Thoughts? What do you think, Tim?
I used to use the grip strengtheners back a lot earlier when I started shooting. God, I really don't use them now. I probably haven't picked those things up in probably a couple years. The main thing, of course, is just for me, is just in dry fire, it's just constantly keeping that cognitive thought in my head, grip the fucking gun as hard as possible. So, and I'll typically know I'm doing it right. Like, I don't know, I just spent the last hour before we started podcasting dry firing and
so what you call it.
So, so if my hands don't hurt after dry fire, then I know I'm not gripping the gun near as hard as I should. And live fire, it's pretty easy to know when I am or I'm not gripping the gun as hard as I need to. I mean, it's just something I'm kind of in tune with and focused on now.
Right, you expect the gun to behave a certain way when you're shooting.
Correct.
All right, so you're not really talking about grip strengthening.
Dude, I'm a mechanic and have been for the last 22 years. So
you're pretty in shape. I've seen you. You're fit, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as grip is concerned, I'm constantly gripping and
have you ever messed around with Captains of Crush brand grippers?
I can do a number 2, but not anything higher than that.
Okay. So you can close number 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good?
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Is that pretty good for like a little bitch or like pretty good?
It's pretty good for anybody.
All right.
I've never met anybody who does not use them regularly who can help. Most people that don't use them regularly can't even close number 1, even one time.
Okay. Well, tell us about it, Nick. You using them? They working good for you?
Yeah, I've been using them for years. I mean, Vogel turned me on to them years ago, and I've loved them ever since. I find they increase, maximum strength and durability in terms of longevity. I can dry fire longer without getting tired. So I actually had just stuck to number 1 for quite a while, and I just kind of bought a number 2 on a whim recently to kind of up the ante a little bit, and I can only close that sucker about 1 time right now. So. What backed me off one time, I did hurt myself with them a while back, and I pulled some kind of something between 2 knuckles. And
it's tendonitis actually in your hand.
Well, I mean, I did it. I could feel when it happened, and it hurt, for several weeks after that. I had to put them down and stop doing it for a while and let it heal. So that's the only issue I've had. So, now that was a long time ago, but yeah, I use them every 1 to 2 weeks just to maintain, forearm strength. I like them a lot. I've been a believer since I picked them up the first time. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I should have looked this up prior to the show, but I'm going to pull up something relevant about shit, fucking Carl. I'm guessing you guys don't know who Carl Wren is.
I do.
His I can't find it in his blog. He told me he put up a blog post about this. Carl's the only guy I know who studied this this issue to this level, and I actually, without studying it to the level he did, I actually agree with him. I'll tell you, my stance on this is I do not use Captains of Crush or recommend that people use them. I don't think using them is necessarily bad, but I'll say most people I know who use them regularly have fucked themselves up at some point, like Nick just talked about, using them. And I don't really think they address the problem. So what I find with most people, this would be the vast majority of shooters, it is not that their hands are not strong enough. Yes, being stronger is better on some level. You get to a point, I think, I was looking for, at krtraining.com somewhere, Carl told me he put up an article about this, but he actually measured like how much hand strength people has, and at a certain point, he can't show that it matters anymore. That would match what I would see with my own shooting and other people's shooting. Like, if you can hold the gun still and run the trigger as fast as your trigger finger is going to go, more grip strength is probably not going to appreciably help you.
Right. It's not going to hold the gun more still.
Yeah, I mean, so that's part of it. But the actual core of the problem for most people is not that their hands aren't strong, it's that they don't actually use the strength that they've got. So I very, very regularly have, strong, able-bodied adult males in classes who really aren't deploying all of the grip strength they've got. And that is more the issue rather than needing to be stronger. And I could also tell you that chicks with really small, weak hands, if they grip the guns as hard as they can shoot really pretty fast with them. All right? It's just a matter of actually employing that grip strength and like understanding that, no, you can actually shoot fast even though you're a girl or something. That to me is the truth of it, and that's why I don't talk about it a whole lot, because I don't think that it really addresses the problem. The problem is that you need to grip your gun hard, and you need to get in the habit of gripping it hard. You need to grip it hard without having to think about it, which means you grip it hard every time you dry fire. That works for me. That works for other people. Captains of Crush doesn't really need to be part of that equation for most people. Right? I don't personally see a need for that, and enough people hurt themselves with them that it's pretty tough to recommend using them. It seems kind of irresponsible, actually, to advocate using them, to me. Especially since it doesn't really address the problem.
Have you ever actually used them for a period of time?
Not for a period of time, no. Okay. I don't know which one I can close and which one I can't. I imagine that I have slightly above average grip strength for an adult male. Probably not much more. I don't do much to specifically train grip strength. I do a lot of pull-ups, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, so
I do a lot of
that's going to be it's going to be hitting your forearms pretty good there.
Right? Yeah. So I don't think I have weak hands, but and also it's not part of my shooting training. Like when I'm out shooting, I don't usually think like, oh man, I really need to hold this gun harder. That's not really the problem. I need to pull the trigger straighter, sure. And I guess being stronger would be cool, but I mean, it's not worth it to me to injure myself.
Right. And it may be, when I started using them, it's maybe an individual thing, but I just it didn't take long for me to start feeling like I was getting a more positive handle on the gun and the manipulations, and I could do more dry fire for longer periods of time without getting tired.
Well, sure. That's great. That's great for you. And I'm happy about that. But recommending that shit to the masses seems irresponsible to me. And to be honest, and I've also known other people, I've known plenty of dudes that use Captains of Crush and then get really strong hands, and it doesn't help their shooting because they're not training themselves to actually grip the gun hard. It doesn't work by magic. You know what I mean? Like you train your grip stronger and you train yourself to grip the gun hard. Yeah. Like that
Yeah.
is that I would say the train yourself to grip the gun hard is the important part of that equation. The more important part by miles. And I think it's tough for people to refute that. You know what I mean? I don't get me wrong, I get it. I like it. It's kind of like once you can do a .7 draw, does it really matter if you can do a .68? Like the improvement is so marginal,
Right.
right? So grip strength good, and I mean, Nick, just the fact that you feel you can dry fire longer makes it worth it for you, right?
Yeah, I just like the way my grip feels better.
There you
when it's
go.
Stronger
Good.
all the way around.
So I guess what I would say to people is, if you train yourself to grip the gun 100% as hard as you can, you train that for a little while, and then you get to the point where you grip the gun hard without having to think about it, and it's still, you don't like the way the gun behaves, like you want it to be better, then do the Captain's a Crush. If that's what you need to do. You're probably going to hurt yourself, but
Yeah, well,
have at it.
yeah. I don't think you need to go for like I said, I can close the number one a lot, but I didn't really feel the need to go heavier than that, especially considering the fact that I did hurt myself one time. Like I said, I literally just got a number two like 2 weeks ago, so hopefully I won't hurt myself again. But I wanted to see, okay, if I do step up my grip strength some more, is it gonna, is more gonna be better? So
Yeah.
I'm in the process of finding that out.
I imagine more. I imagine more is probably better.
And
Is
it
it-
may not make me shoot faster, but
Is it
will
measurably
it make
better?
me more? Yeah,
Hard to say.
It may be more comfortable.
If it makes
So,
you more confident,
Maybe more confidence
Then that's
building,
good.
whatever. Yeah. Another thing, if you don't do this now and you're considering using them, one thing I don't do is I do not hit the Captain's a Crush, and then immediately go out and shoot, because they are heavy. They're heavyweight. In fact, I do them on like Monday. So, by the time I'm going to shoot another match, which is going to be like Saturday at the earliest, my strength is recovered. So I wouldn't even do them like the day before I was going to shoot a match, just because if you do them heavy, there's some recovery time there, just like there is with any other workout type thing.
shit. Well, okay. Bang up job, guys. Listener people, if you've got questions you want the answer to, go to benstoeger.com. Send me your question. I actually have a pretty good stack of questions right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have, looks like 20 or so questions stacked up, so it might be a while before you get your answer, but that's okay. Keep sending me questions. Maybe I can cut out some of the shittier questions, It'd be great.
Oh, we did that already.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, guys.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Yes.